Working with the SDGs came up around the question of how do we include the Sustainable Development Goals to enrich our subject teaching. Well, in the Handprint CARE approach, we came across the idea of LoReT, locally relevant themes in subject teaching. And this uses Kolb's experiential cycle, and we found that this aligned very well with Edwards' 4-quadrant task sequencing. Working with something concrete, or a problem, or a challenge, or a question, and often with a startup story to get going in quadrant 1. And then doing some observation and some reflection or some sort of inquiry. And then working with these ideas and working with abstract concepts and theories that come out of the work. So the students are actually generating knowledge through the experience of working on these ideas. And then into active experimentation, exploration, and change challenges, made a very useful cycle for planning this work. So the LoReT was an engagement with matters of concern that have relevance to learners. And what the teacher said was important was the learners would be able to see things in the world as they worked. Now, the interesting thing was to then bring in the Sustainable Development Goals around these matters of concern. And it had quite a significant impact in our circles of care, where we started off with the description of the context. Then we went into the focus, concerns, and the inquiry component. And then working with the SDGs, what was so interesting here was the students started off with a fairly narrow grasp of a particular concern, and the Sustainable Development Goals broadened the grasp so that they were able to look at gender matters or energy matters or life and water and the broader perspective, so that they were using this Sustainable Development Goals to summarize and focus their inquiry, and then into questions and ideas that could be taken into the active experimentation. So we found that the SDGs was not a start-off guide to the inquiry, but a tool for the students to take into the inquiry and broaden their focus and deepen their understanding and their construction of knowledge to inform this matter of concern that was close to them. And here are some references that you might find useful to explore this in fuller detail.